today's video, I'm going to walk you through an 18-step process or checklist for starting on YouTube. So if you're a new YouTuber and you want just someone to give you a freaking checklist so you know what to do and when to do it, that's what you're going to get in this video today. And also, I have a downloadable PDF file of what I'm talking about today if you want to get that as well. So stick around if that sounds interesting to you. Hey, Saarenoja here. Welcome to my channel where I help young at heart new YouTubers get started on YouTube and grow a channel. So I actually recommend going into the description below this video, clicking on the link and downloading the PDF so that you can follow along in the PDF for this video. If you work better like that, if you work better with like having a document in front of you, because I'm going to walk you through the steps of that document in this video, but you don't need to. So I will cover what's in that document in this video. So step number one with getting started as a new YouTuber would be to determine what you're going to talk about. I would determine a niche. I am a big pro advocate of niching your channel, picking a topic that you want to talk about in order to attract your audience. I think it's really great for the YouTube algorithm if you have a specific topic you want to talk about, and it will help connect the right audience to your channel. If you are just looking at this as a place to be a living journal or a diary of your life, then, and you don't necessarily care if you get subscribers or anything like that, you don't really need to worry about niching down. You can post whatever you want, whenever you want, right? But if you're trying to grow a channel, I would definitely recommend niching down. And so how do you pick a niche? A lot of times people come to me and they're like, I don't know what to talk about. And my advice to you would be to find something that you're passionate about and you're also proficient in, and also something that could possibly produce income for you based on having a market for that niche. So you want to think about what you're passionate about. So what do you love? What could you talk about endlessly for like a year on YouTube and have enough ideas of content to also talk about that? So that's also something you want to think about. Like, or is your idea for the channel just because you think it'll make you money or get lots of views? I would argue that it's better to go with something that you're really interested in and passionate about, because that will keep you going when the building of your channel is going slow. So if you're not getting very many subscribers or the organic growth is very slow, then I think that if you have passion and you really believe in what you're doing, that will get you through those slower times. Then also if you're proficient in it. So it's a good idea to do something that you are proficient at. So if you have been in finance for 20 years and you have so much skills around finance, you could give people advice about their finances on YouTube and teach them everything you know from 20 years of experience. I would say you should be proficient in whatever it is. And if you are not actually proficient in what you are trying to do, that you are willing to learn. And then that if you are willing to learn, then you could be a reporter of that knowledge, a reporter of that education. And that's another way you could build a channel. But whatever you're reporting, whatever topic that you're reporting, you really need to be interested in it. For example, this YouTube channel is all about growing a YouTube channel. And for new YouTubers, and specifically young at heart, so people that are older, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, it's geared towards them who have a lot of knowledge and life experience. For me, I'm actually a knowledge reporter right now, but I'm also experiencing it at the same time. So every time I'm a tester of the knowledge I'm reporting and reporting it to you with the backing of also my experience. So I'm kind of going hand in hand at the moment with learning tools, applying tools, growing my channel, and then also helping the ones that are just a few steps behind me get to where I am. So you could look at it that way. But I would definitely recommend that it should be something that you're passionate about, that you're proficient in or desire to be proficient in, and that could be profitable. So how do you figure out if it could be profitable? I would recommend the easiest way to do this is to hop on YouTube and just put in the search bar your topic. So let's say you love sewing and you know how to sew and you want to teach others how to sew, or specifically you want to teach beginner sewers. And so you would go on YouTube and you would say sewing for beginners or something like that. And then you would go through and see if there are channels that are geared towards sewing for beginners, and then go into those channels that you find and see what videos they've posted, how the videos have done. Do they have lots of views? Do they have lots of subscribers? How old is the channel? How old are the videos? Is it pretty recent, or is it like from 10 years ago? I think that you could go in and kind of get an idea of whether or not there is some demand for this topic. And then once you have that kind of approval that there is some demand, that people are succeeding at this, then you would go forward with it. And that would lead me to step 2 of the process. And step 2 would be deciding on your channel name. The channel name is going to be your kind of your brand identity for the channel. So do you want it to be your own name, Or do you want it to be the name that is more about the topic of what you're doing? So Sewing Corner or something, for example, versus Betty Thomas or something, right? So what do you want it to be? And you could also mix and match. So you could do Betty Sewing Corner or Sewing with Betty or something like that. If you're having trouble coming up with names, you could also use ChatGPT, which is a really great resource, AI resource. You could go in there and you could say, give me 10 title names for a channel about sewing. Or you could say, give me 10 titles for a channel with my name, Betty, in the title. And then it would say Betty's Sewing Corner. You could use that to find titles for you as well. Once you find your title that you want to do, think about this more long term. So I would do a quick search on YouTube itself to see if anyone has that name already on their YouTube channel. And then if they don't, then I would go a little bit further and I would think about domain names. Like if you build this as a business, well, eventually one day you want a website with that name. So then go into domains.com or some other place and look and see if there is a domain name that is available with that name. If there isn't, then I would also go into the search bar of Google and type in Betty's Sewing Corner and .com and see what comes up if there's already someone doing that and where in the world they're doing that. If it's not in your country, then who cares? If it's in your country, maybe, or your state, then it's a little bit of a bigger deal. But I would try to find something that no one has the name of right now. That is why my channel is Alexa Saarenoja. Also, having your own name as your brand identity, it allows you to have a little bit more wiggle room to transform your brand as you grow or as you change. If you say Betty's Sewing Corner, it's going to be very difficult to do baking later on if you decide that you want to go in the direction of baking, and you're no longer doing sewing, and you would have to change your channel name, which you can change your channel name easily on YouTube. It is an option. You can change it. You're not stuck with it forever. You can always change your channel name, but just thinking about this long term to prevent having to change your name. Okay, so that would lead to the next step, which is step 3, sign up for a YouTube account. So now that you have your title name, your channel name, you have a niche that you are interested in doing, you can go ahead and hop on YouTube and sign up for YouTube account. And you will need to have a Google account in order to do that because Google owns YouTube. And once you've signed up, then it leads to step 4, which is to write a description about your channel. The reason I have you do this so early in the process is because it has so many good benefits. Number 1, it helps you get clarity on articulating what it is you do and who you are serving. Number 2, it helps the algorithm know what you're all about and thus connect you with an audience that would want to look at your content or would want to learn from you or view your content. By doing this early in the game, it really sets you up for success because 1, you know what you want, you know what you're doing, you know who you're serving, and 2, you're telling YouTube that too. So that will help the algorithm bring those people to you. So you want to write a description, you want to think about using keywords. So keywords are words that people use to describe what you do or things within that topic. So again, if we use the sewing example, words would be sewing, sew, needles, cross stitch, sewing machines, Singer sewing machines, stuff like that. Like I don't know much about sewing, so I don't even know if cross stitch applies to that, but different types of things, fabric, using those words, or beginners, teaching beginners how to sew. If you use words like that in your description, keywords in your description, again, it will help the YouTube algorithm know what your channel's all about and connect you with the right people. Which leads me to step 5, and it's sort of related to that, is optimizing your channel for SEO. So you'll want to optimize the description like I just talked about, but you can also optimize your channel to have keywords specifically for your channel. So you'll go into the channel and you'll customize it and you'll add in keywords that relate to your topic. So I would do things like I just mentioned, like sewing, sewing machines, beginner sewers, learning how to sew, those types of things. And there are short tail keywords and long tail keywords. So a long tail keyword would be like how to sew for beginners. That's a long tail keyword, whereas just sewing would be a short tail keyword. So you want to include both in your keywords for your channel. Then step 6, which is part of branding your channel, would be to create a banner for your channel. The banner is the top panel that you see when you open up someone's channel. And that is where you want to place like your tagline, maybe a photo of you, and also maybe have thing on there that says videos released weekly or videos released every Tuesday, Thursday, or maybe if you have an app, have a picture of an app up there, or some offer if you have some sort of offer you have, whatever, but you want to make your banner appealing and clear and obvious regarding what topic you are in or what niche you are in. That's one part of branding. Another part of branding is your profile icon, which is the next step. So step 7 is creating a profile icon, and that is a little circle next to your name whenever you do like a YouTube search. So that profile icon is circular, and you could do anything in that circle, like a logo. You could do a picture of your face. You could do a picture of your dog if your channel's about dogs. You could do some sort of sewing logo, whatever, but just make sure that it's really clear because it is quite small. So you want to make sure it's simple and very clear and not pixelated, not distorted, and that it fills up the whole circle. So I would recommend doing that. And then step 8, now that you have your channel set up, you've done your branding, would be to start to think about schedule. How often do you think you could sustainably post on YouTube? Would it be 1 time a week, 2 times a week, once a month? Whatever it is good for you. I would recommend 1 time a week if you can do that, 1 video a week, or if you're doing shorts, maybe more shorts a week than that. But to start somewhere, but to start in a place that's sustainable so that you don't go all in and be like, oh, I can do like 6 videos a week, and you do 6 videos a week for 2 weeks, and then you burn out and you don't do anything for 6 months, and then you try to come back again. You have to start back over again because YouTube algorithm really likes consistency. It likes to see that you're active on YouTube, that you have a consistent schedule, that you keep with that consistent schedule. So I recommend deciding on a schedule that is sustainable for you. So if that's 1 a week or 1 a month, decide on that and go with that. I would recommend being more conservative on this than being more optimistic, because it does take a really long time to record, write a script, edit your videos, and everything, especially in the beginning when you haven't done it before as a new YouTuber. So I would err on the side of caution before kind of going all out and trying to do like 5 videos a week. You can always increase once you get the hang of it, right? So you can always increase and make your pace a little bit faster if you want to. Then step 9 would be to brainstorm content ideas for your channel. So like I said, you want to pick a topic that you're really passionate about, that you could talk about for a year, and that you have a lot of ideas about. So for sewing, a great way to even just think about topics would be to think about topic types or video types. Like you can have how-to videos, you can have pros and cons videos, you can have this versus that. This, like for example, Singer sewing machine versus some other brand name sewing machine. You could do sewing machines for under 100, sewing machines for beginners. There's all kinds of videos you could do. Another way to brainstorm is to go back and look at your keyword list and see what's in there, like needles, best needles for sewing as a beginner, sewing machines, best sewing machine for beginners, cross stitch, how to do a cross stitch with a Singer sewing machine, or how to set the settings for a cross stitch. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if cross stitch is even a realistic term for sewing. Maybe that's for knitting. I don't really know. But anyway, so yeah, I would say generate 10 ideas for video ideas right now in this step. So generate 10 ideas. Once you have 10 ideas, you move on to the next step, which is creating a script or an outline. So step 10 is creating a script or outline for your video. Now, if you feel really comfortable about what you're talking about and you have a lot of knowledge in it, I would just do an outline with some bullet points and speak freely to the camera, because you've been doing this for so long. It's like the back of your hand. That's how well you can speak about it. If you are nervous to be on camera, or if there's certain points you want to get that you're not sure you'll get because you have been doing it so long that you forget to mention those things because it's so habitual for you, then I would definitely recommend writing out a script that actually has sentences. You could use a teleprompter. You could look at your script, look at the couple of lines and be like, oh yeah, I want to say that. Go to the camera, say those few words, look back at your script, and then come back to your camera and say those next few lines. And you can always edit this part where you're looking down, right? And I would recommend that your script really helps you. Maybe inside your script, you also say, show the needle at this point, or show the product, so you know what you're doing and when you're doing it. So I think that is always helpful in the beginning as well. The more work you do up front before you hit record, the better your outcome will be, because it's easier to edit a video that has an organized bullet points that you're speaking about versus just rambling. It takes a lot longer to do a video that is kind of off the cuff or kind of free flowing. So I recommend definitely using a script or an outline in the beginning, and I still use a script every video I do. Next up is step 11. This is choose a location where you will be filming. So I would find a location that is quiet, that you could use often, that's easy to set up, so you don't have to close a bed, move chairs, do all this stuff just to record. So I would make it as a simple location as possible, easily accessible, a quiet location, and one that has a lot of absorptive materials in the room. So, maybe there's a couch, maybe there's blankets, maybe there's pillows. And if you don't have those things in the room, you could always bring them and kind of lay them all around you, like blankets and pillows and stuff like that. Like I have a rug below me. I have a chair back there, a fluffy chair. Most of this room is hard surfaces, so it would be echoey because it's like books and bookcases and tables and walls with nothing really soft padding. So I definitely recommend finding a space that is well lit, that the audio quality would be good, and that has kind of a soft sound to it. Then step 12 is to determine your equipment that you want to use. Are you just using your iPhone? Do you have like a camera and a microphone, all of these things? Gather all your equipment and make sure you have it all together. And then I would say test it. So I would do some test runs. I would set up your camera, set up the location, and look and record yourself. Like take a few test runs and record. Is the lighting good? Is the sound good? Is the audio even on your camera or your phone? And make sure that everything is working well and watch it back before you start to hit record. Which leads me to step 13, hit record. So just go for it. Record your first video if it's your first video or your 10th video, but just go for it. And I recommend don't stop and pause or stop and start every time you make a mistake. Just keep going. Just make one long video if you can and just edit out those mistakes. And a good tip that I've heard in the past is like if you mess up, to clap really loud, like, and that will show up in your sound wave really clearly so you can see, okay, I messed this up and then I'm going to delete that part. So it really kind of helps when you see it in the sound wave. This high peak, that means that you clapped and that means that you're restarting something. So it helps you kind of to scan your waveform when you're editing and delete things faster and edit quicker. But I would say before you start recording, like get yourself in a happy mood, maybe listen to some pumpy music or stuff that makes you happy, makes you inspired, makes you feel awesome, and then get on the camera. Like think about happy things, think about good things, think about all the people you're helping. And also if you feel like it's really hard for you to talk to a camera, I recommend imagining that your camera lens is that person that you want to help, is that person who like really wants to learn how to sew. They want to sew their child a Halloween costume and they really have always wanted to do that, but they have no idea where to begin. You're talking to that person who has so much ambition to be a sewer, but they've never been able to do it. So that's what I would recommend, talking directly to them when you look in the camera. That will help kind of ease your anxiety and also maybe help you with thinking about overcoming that when you think nobody's watching these videos, who am I even doing this for? Think of that person. It will really help your passion and your heart come through on the video, I think. Then step 14 is to edit your video. So go find a way to edit your video, whether you're using like a free software like iMovie that comes with Mac, or Clipchamp that comes with PCs, or CapCut, which is something you can download for your phone, or DaVinci, which is also free. There's lots of editing softwares you can find, and find the most basic video that you can find to just get your stuff edited as quickly as possible on the most beginner level. I'll post a link right here for an iMovie tutorial that I did. So if you have a Mac or an iPad, you can use iMovie and edit your videos that way. It's a really simple video. It doesn't go into anything too fancy, but it will get you started for creating videos that look professionally edited to some extent. And one tip I would say is if you are kind of a perfectionist, just get it done. You know, don't tweak it for hours. I mean, it does take hours to edit a video, but let it go. At some point, just let it go and say done is better than none and move on. Just get it out there. Then step 15 would be to plan out your title, description, and keywords for that video and have that ready so that when you go to load it into YouTube, you'll be able to put those in really quickly. Step 16 would be to create a thumbnail. So once you have your title and description, you really have an idea of what your video is about. You just finished your video, then you want to create the thumbnail and you want it to be a very eye-catching, simple image that really catches the attention of your audience. And I think that it's a great idea would be to use very minimal words. So, so it's not a cluttered thumbnail. These thumbnails are quite small. So I would use maybe 3 to 4 words. So sewing for beginners, beginner sewing fast and easy, maybe sewing super easy for beginners or something like that. So it's really straight and to the point. It captures something on someone's emotions, like fast and easy. It makes it sound like, oh, I want to do that because sewing seems impossible for me. So, or something like that. So you want to make sure your thumbnail is visible at a small scale, draws attention to it. A lot of times people use images of people, so that makes kind of an emotional connection because we're humans. We like to connect with other humans. So sometimes it's good to use a picture of yourself or some other humans showing someone sewing or something like that. And I also recommend scaling down your thumbnail when you're building it. I recommend using Canva to make your thumbnails. You can go into Canva in the search bar and type thumbnails, and it will pop up a thumbnail templates for you, and you can look at them and you can edit them all. They're completely editable. You can change font type, font size, colors of them, add in your images, remove images. It's super easy. You could probably learn it in a half hour to make a thumbnail. So I think that Canva is a really great tool to do that with. But yeah, I was saying scale down the thumbnail really small and look at it really small. You could also load it up into your YouTube video once it's up and see it. And if you think it doesn't look good, then go back to Canva, edit it, and re-upload another thumbnail. Okay, then step 17 is to upload your video to YouTube. So upload your video, add in all the information that's necessary, add in end cards if you have other videos, or cards if you need them or if you have them, and add in subtitles. I use TurboScribe to get the subtitles for my videos. I just upload my video to turboscribe.com, and then it gives me the closed captionings for the video. I'll place a link here for a tutorial that I've done on that as well, if you want to click on that. And then also on the last page, decide how you're going to publish it. Do you want to publish it now? Do you want to make it public, private, or unlisted? Private means no one has access to it but you. Unlisted means others can have access to it if you give them the link, but it won't be publicly viewed. Public is when everyone can see it. And you also can do public and then schedule it before you hit publish. So you could schedule it for like tomorrow at 6 o'clock to go live. If say you're working in the middle of the night, it's 2 a.m. You're not going to post your video at 2 a.m. because no one's really watching YouTube at 2 a.m. For sewing tips and tutorials. You could always schedule it later at a later date. And then hit publish and celebrate. And the last step 18, before you go out and celebrate how awesome it is that you finally uploaded your first video, I would market it. So I would send it out to all of your social media accounts that you have. If you are on Facebook, put the link on Facebook. If you're on Instagram, let people know, LinkedIn, whatever, TikTok, whatever you're on, tell as many people as you possibly can that you have just posted your first video on YouTube and you would love for them to watch it to help it gain some traction. And lastly, I would just say congratulations. That is a lot of work and you did it. You faced fear, you hit record, and you got your video out there. And that is such an amazing feeling. And what I want to say next is that you will be so surprised by how much love and support you will receive from the community on YouTube. The community on YouTube is incredible. I never, ever expected to experience such wonderful people on YouTube. I thought for sure there would be trolls more than there would be happy comments, and it has been the exact opposite. The community is one of the best parts of YouTube. So after you post that video, if you're like, oh, everyone's gonna hate it, I'm gonna look like a fool, people will really appreciate you. If you're providing value to someone, if you're teaching someone how to sew that's been wanting to sew for years and they just didn't get it, but your teaching style was able to make complex information simple for them, and they were able to finally sew that Halloween costume for their child, for their 3-year-old, and they felt so proud, they are not going to care about your video quality. They're going to care about what you're teaching them and how it's helping them. And they're going to be so grateful. And they're going to leave comments and likes and tell you how wonderful you are. So that is one of the best things of YouTube. And I want to say, go for it. And I wish you the best with it. And I'm so proud of you. And if you want the checklist for this video, definitely check the description below and get the checklist for free. Yeah, and hey, if you just want the checklist but you're not interested in me or what I'm providing, my content, that's totally fine. Just get the checklist and then unsubscribe. I won't be offended. I want you to have the checklist and I want you to succeed on YouTube. I want everyone to succeed on YouTube. I want everyone to live the life they want to live. So, wishing you the best and thanks for watching.